Hey guys! Today, I'm comparing Kyle Crane and Leon S. Kennedy, two of my favorite zombie game protagonists, and breaking down who would win in a fight. To do that, we first need to scale their stats. I'll keep this as short as possible, so I won't cover every feat, just a few key ones to establish a solid baseline. Also, gameplay mechanics don't always match the lore. Just play Call of Duty on easy mode, you'll get what I mean. Starting with Kyle Crane in base form, one of his newer finishers shows him ripping a zombie's head clean off. On average, that would require around 1.2 tons of lifting strength, about 1200 kg. I can't realistically scale his base strength much higher than that, since he can still be restrained by handcuffs in cutscenes. Now, Beast Mode is a completely different story. In this form, Kyle can rip the heads off behemoths, who themselves demonstrate 40+ ton strength. How do we know? Behemoths can throw roughly 5-ton concrete slabs, about 45 meters, reaching the player in around 2.7 seconds. Yes, I actually calculated this. For reference, ripping off an average human head takes about 1.2 tons, but for a powerlifter with a thicker neck, it would require around 50 to 60% more force, roughly 2 tons. Since real-life powerlifters can lift at most 0.5 tons, that's about a 4x strength gap. Applying that same multiplier to behemoths gives Kyle a lifting strength of 40 times 4 equals 160 tons. You could argue 200 tons by the end of the game, as he got stronger, but the exact value is unclear. Kyle scales above Aiden, who has tanked an explosion calculated at roughly 45 megajoules, placing it at small building level. Base Kyle would naturally upscale from this. Determining Kyle's beast mode durability is tricky, but after weeks of research I found a standout feat. During the fight, the Baron shakes the entire arena. And the shockwaves are uniform across the area, destroying crates regardless of distance. Destroying a 1-meter crate takes about 400 kj. The arena is approximately 3000 m3, so that's 3000 times 0.4 mj equals 1200 mj, or 1.2 gigajoules. That's an extremely impressive feat, and the only canonical building-level physical feat in Dying Light. In Beast Mode, Kyle Crane has tank-level durability. In base form, Kyle somewhat scales two volatiles. He can't outrun them in a straight line, but his exact running speed is hard to pin down. Gameplay shows Beast Kyle being slower than volatiles, but lore-wise, he should be faster. Kyle himself states that Aiden is faster and stronger than a volatile, and Kyle upscales from Aiden. Overall, Kyle's running speed likely falls somewhere between 45 to 70 mph. Kyle can react to arrows and crossbow bolts, and he should upscale from Aiden, who can deflect crossbow projectile at point-blank range, at best Mach 0.5. That said, this isn't a particularly impressive stat, and as far as I know when I've played the games, Kyle has no bullet-dodging feats. These are Kyle Crane stats. Now, let's move on to Leon. Leon has a clear lifting feat where he pushes a massive boulder, which comes out to roughly 30 tons. However, this isn't Leon's maximum. He can physically contend with Chris Redfield, who punched and moved a 137-ton boulder, which reasonably translates to about 70 tons of lifting strength. Leon is slightly weaker than Chris, but he still scales to him. If you think this is inconsistent for Leon, here's my counter. These feats occur in cutscenes or scripted events, making them canon. Leon consistently matches or overpowers superhuman opponents, such as giant, mutated sharks. Leon also scales to Jake, who scales to Ustanak, a monster strong enough to toss trucks like softballs. And finally, this is fiction. With body armor, Leon should scale to Crosser, who survives a large explosion. Chris has also survived an RPG explosion in RE6, which further supports this scaling. That Crosser explosion has been calculated at 0.364 tons of TNT, 1.52 GJ, as a lowball, and 2.51 tons of TNT, 10.5 GJ, as a highball. Leon's base durability without body armor should also scale to his striking strength via Newton's third law. Using inverse power scaling, that places him at about 0.22 tons of TNT, or 0.94 GJ, which is small building level. So overall, Leon with body armor is about 25% more durable than Beast Kyle. Without armor, Leon is about 25% less durable and weaker in striking power. Speed: Leon upscales rookie Chris, who can keep up with infected dogs, running at around 27 mph. Because of this, Beast Kyle clearly outruns Leon in raw movement speed. However, when it comes to reaction speed, Resident Evil characters are consistently bullet timers. Claire, a normal college student, dodges sniper fire. Jill dodges bullets while doing backflips. Chris dodges gunfire from Wesker. The best reaction feat among these has been performed by RE3 Jill, been calculated at Mach 7.8, placing Leon solidly in the hypersonic range. 1. Kyle is the protagonist of a parkour-focused game and has a grappling hook, giving him superior mobility and dexterity. That said, Leon is also extremely agile, so both are elite acrobats. Beast Kyle has significantly higher lifting strength, so it looks like he could theoretically rip Leon's head off like he does to chimeras, but not so fast. For that to happen, two conditions must be met simultaneously: much higher lifting strength. Kyle checks this box. He's 3 to 4x stronger. Much higher striking strength and durability. He doesn't. He's only about 1.25x stronger here. So Kyle only checks one of the two boxes. Still, superior lifting strength gives Kyle advantages in grappling, blocking, wrestling, pinning, and overpowering Leon in clinches. 2. Leon's reflexes are at least 10x faster than Kyle's, which means close-range exchanges look more like 3. Leon's firearms scale close to large building level, demonstrated by Magnum rounds pulverizing massive rocks. 4. Beast Kyle does have key abilities. A 30-foot vertical jumps. B. Grappling hook usage even in beast form. C. Sonic scream capable of bursting eardrums. Verdict: if we're being honest and unbiased, Beast Kyle gets absolutely destroyed, and he also loses any gunfight. Leon's reaction speed makes ranged combat look like this. The fight only becomes interesting if Kyle in his beast form forces close quarters combat. So the real question is, how does Beast Kyle versus Leon actually play out? Well, here's my 2 cents. The fight: the Baron hires government agent Leon S. Kennedy to track down and eliminate a sentient BOW that has gone rogue in the wild. His target is Kyle Crane, a former U.S. Army Green Beret and GRE operative who defected after refusing orders to invade Iraq and murder civilians. Highly trained, heavily armed, and extremely dangerous, that's the briefing Leon receives. Kyle has just finished battling the last Chimera Colossus, and the brutal fight has nearly filled his beast meter. Still riding the adrenaline, he moves forward, until he and Leon come face to face. Leon orders him to surrender, stating it's a direct request from the Baron. The moment Kyle hears that name, his blood boils. He gives Leon one final warning: either walk away, or get his head separated from his body. Leon takes this as confirmation. The Baron was right. Kyle Crane really is a bloodthirsty psychopath. Before Kyle can react, Leon draws his weapon and fires a warning shot. Kyle instantly dives for cover and hip fires back. Leon responds with a flashy, completely unnecessary backflip, dodging the bullets in dramatic slow motion. Kyle just stares, completely flabbergasted. Leon tosses a grenade to flush him out. Kyle barely escapes, but the shrapnel still tears into him, injuring him badly and nearly maxing out his beast meter. Kyle lunges forward with a punch. Leon casually dodges and smacks him across the back of the head, fully filling the beast meter. Kyle snarls, "I warned you, moron." And then he unleashes his inner monster. Leon watches in disbelief as Kyle slams his fist into the ground, sending a straight-line shockwave ripping across the battlefield. Leon moves out of its path, stunned that a normal-looking human could do something like that. That moment of hesitation costs him. Kyle releases a sonic scream, rupturing Leon's eardrum. Leon staggers, stunned, disoriented, momentarily helpless. Kyle charges at superhuman speed, disarms Leon, tackles him, and pins him to the ground. His beast meter drops to 75% as he begins a relentless ground pound. Leon blocks desperately, but he realizes fast, this isn't sustainable. Kyle's punches are shaking the arena, and his bones are starting to crack. In a split second, Leon pulls his knife from its sheath and slashes upward, cutting across Kyle's eye, then kicks him off. Kyle stumbles back, stunned. A single punch from him should have killed even a volatile. His beast meter drops to 50%. Kyle fires his grappling hook at Leon. Leon catches it, but Kyle uses his superior lifting strength to yank Leon straight toward him. Leon lets go mid-pull and crashes to the ground. Then Kyle does something Leon doesn't expect. He leaps 30 feet into the air and comes crashing down with a devastating ground slam. Leon dodges the direct hit, but the AoE shockwave still catches him. In that split second, Leon makes a gamble. He hurls his knife with terrifying speed, and it works as Kyle can't react in time. The blade buries itself in his bicep. Kyle ignores the pain and charges again, but his beast meter is now down to 25%. Desperate, Kyle tries another sonic scream. This time, Leon covers his ears. Kyle grabs a nearby boulder and hurls it at him. Leon snatches his gun off the ground mid-motion, spins 180 degrees, and fires, all of this done within 3 milliseconds, obliterating the boulder. But Kyle was never aiming to hit him. He was following it. Kyle catches one of the shattered fragments of the boulder mid-air and throws it while sprinting. Leon parries it with a second knife, narrowly dodges Kyle's furious beast charge, but Kyle can't fully recover his momentum. Leon draws his Killer 7 Magnum and fires. The bullet tears into Kyle's leg, blowing chunks of flesh away and dropping him knees instantly. Kyle stares in disbelief. He thought beast mode made him bulletproof. Leon closes the distance and delivers a crushing roundhouse kick, slamming Kyle to the ground. The beast meter empties. Beast mode fades. Kyle lies broken, powerless. Leon raises his gun, aiming it straight at Kyle's head. "Enough, Mr. Crane," Leon shouts. "This ends now." Kyle laughs through the pain. "Pull the fucking trigger, asshole. You're just another one of the Baron's experiments. One of his lapdogs. I'd rather die as Freeman than live as a slave." The fight is over. Leon wins. But the conversation is far from finished. Now Leon has questions. About the Baron. About the truth. Will he team up with Kyle? Or will he follow orders and remain America's obedient lapdog? That scenario is just one of many ways this fight could play out. But in my opinion, Leon wins more often than not, mainly because of his vastly superior reflexes, higher attack potency, and far greater experience dealing with BOWs. I've put thousands of hours into both franchises, so before jumping to conclusions, just know this take comes from genuine familiarity with both characters, not bias. If you agree or disagree, I'd genuinely like to hear why. Drop your reasoning in the comments. Thanks for sticking around till the end.